YOLK is back. YOLK is back. YOLK is back. YOLK is back.
Generation Next.
YOLK is back.
YOLK is back.
Welcome to YOLK.
YOLK is back.
So what I'm making is I'm going to make my my father's recipe, dan mian, which he brought from Taiwan. So it was something that's passed down to him. And so he's no longer with us. He passed away in 2010. So one of the ways I remember him is to have this on the menu, and to something that as I grew up, I used to serve my friends and they loved it. So I said one day if I have a place of my own, I was going to serve this noodle. So I don't know how he would feel today, knowing that I was selling his noodles, but I think he would be proud. He was looking from, above. So one of the reasons, I love his noodle, but one of the reasons that I find dan noodles so interesting, especially just as a conversation among Chinese, is that there's so many versions of dan mian, right? Depending on where you come from. And there's always a debate, well, this is the right way, this is the right way. And one time I heard on another podcast is, you know what? Whatever you grew up with is the right way, because everyone has that one. And so this is my way, and the way he does it, my dad has done it, is different than how others, because it's drier. In Taiwan, most dan mian, a lot of them are in a little bit of soup or broth, and it also has pork, ground pork, or some kind of meat in it. I don't. Mine's completely vegan. So I have the sauce and the turnip and the pickle, but it's fairly dry. It's in a creamy sauce. The other difference between this one, which would be different, which is my version, this is kind of how I changed it from my dad's version, is another common thing for dan mian is peanuts. So my daughter is allergic to peanuts. So I had to find a way to recreate the same texture and flavor as peanut butter. So I had substitute with what is essentially Chinese tahini to make the same sort of nutty, sweety flavor. What is hard though, when you're seriously cooking, is people talking to you. I'm fine here, but if you talk much, they don't want. There's a thing, because I always equate being a good cook with being someone who's musical, and music is all about timing and conducting an orchestra. So you have different times for bass, string, horn, and in your head there's a clock that's going. It doesn't look like anything's going on. But in every chef's brain, there's a clock that's going on. Something's going on back here, something's going on here.
Yeah.
And so when people talk, that isn't like one of the band members, it's actually throwing the clock off.
Would you say this is one of the few places you would be multitasking, or is it multitasking frequently?
You mean in the kitchen in general? Always. It's always kind of multitasking. In fact, one of the hardest jobs in the kitchen is expediter, what they call an expo, which is they conduct the timing of when everything gets fired. And so that is ultimately multitasking, because they have to see the orders that come through, and they have to, because each order is different, right? They come in at a certain time, certain type of dish, certain number of dishes, whether they're in a rush, they want to relax. That expediter has to have all that in their brain to know when to do what. So,
How do you like? I don't know how many times people ask you this, but how do you like The Bear? Are you a fan?
Bear? I'm sure it's a great show. I've seen half of the first episode. I don't watch it because when people ask me that, I would say it's probably the same as asking an ER doctor after work, do they go home and watch more ER doctor? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's
That's true. My husband's a nurse, and he doesn't watch
He's a
medical
nurse?
drama.
Does he work in the ER? Or?
No, he just doesn't watch medical drama because he's in the hospital all the time.
It's too much,
Yeah.
right? And they take creative license. So if it's level 10 here, you go home and it's probably level 15. Or
Yeah.
11, you know?
Yeah.
So it's too much. You don't need the extra stress.
Wow. So there's no like all the ingredients are so simple.
It's pretty simple. Well, yeah. We'd broken it down so that there's a few steps.
I'm just gonna put some in here. Whoa, this
Yeah,
is
it
got
gets
a
tight real
very
quick.
nice consistency here.
Carefully, Chef John.
Yeah. I'll just cut some of this here. It smells terrific, by the way. And is there a special name for this?
We call it just Dad's Dan Yan Mian.
Dad's Dangan Man.
He also has a beef soup noodle that I do from time to time.
A beef soup
That's another traditional
with a broth.
Chinese with a broth.
Now,
It's got a little bit of kick to it too.
you said this has no peanuts,
There's no peanuts.
but it tastes like peanuts.
It does? Good. So I've achieved the desired effect.
This is amazing.
I played around with it to essentially it just replace it with a Chinese tahini.
Okay. But yeah, I can taste the little kick right now,
The kick,
right? It comes in a little after. So if you had kids, they can eat it, but you got to warn them.
You got to warn them, or you just start them way early to train them.
Yeah.
Right. I learned the spice level is all based on training. They won't know any different.
I have a 12-year-old. She would love this because she likes a little bit of kick.
Little kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dialed it down from my dad's recipe.
Right.
He smoked and he drank, so the older he got, his taste buds needed
Right.
more of a kick. So his got to a point where it was sweat level.
As they do.
Right? It's the one thing I'll tell you. Chefs after a while get tired of their own cooking, but this is the one thing that when I come in and I want something to eat here, I'll consistently get. Just because I think it's my dad's. Huh?
Do you use guinea pigs at all?
No, it would be, if I did, I wouldn't tell you, but it's illegal in this country. Oh, that's another thing about this dish. I forgot to tell you.
Now, I was just wondering if you had your family try your meal entrees first and then go from there.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if when you started, did you try cooking it for your family first as a gauge?
So this one, I definitely, I cooked, like to tell you, Larry, I cooked this noodle for my friends first, because I had this, when I was in school, when I went to college, my dad would make a big batch for me, and I used to take it to college and go back and make noodles. I would put it on dumplings. So I already had one test group out of the way.
Sacrifice the friends first.
Yeah, then when I got married, so then I introduced it to my wife, and then ultimately the kids. I guess, maybe I would stay out of trouble, but about girlfriends and stuff. That's a litmus test. You better like this noodle or it's over.
Take over
right?
camera.
Okay. We're using this, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I think every Asian household probably has a drawer full of like McDonald's sauces.
McDonald's sauce,
right?
ketchup.
I personally like the hot mustard because I'll have some chicken fillets at home and I'll dip that in that sauce at home.
With the sweet and sour. You know what else is in that drawer? My grandpa, they used to take those McDonald's coffee stirrers with the little M, the white stick.
Oh yeah.
He used to grab a bunch and just have the sticks so they could have it at home to use the sticks.
With the M on the
with the little M on it. Yeah, I think they still have it.
Yep.
Yeah, because coffee is a big thing at McDonald's.
Right.
It has very good quality, but in terms of just like my grandfather, who immigrated here, that was their local meeting place for his cronies was McDonald's, and they all get a coffee and an egg McMuffin and go blow a few $100 on mahjong at night.
And hang out there all day.
Yeah.
I
understand. Dressed in a suit, no less.
Yeah. I remember some of the other things you served that day. It was a lomo saltado.
and we had okra. So we have
Okra.
our sort of a signature dish. It's a wok fried okra.
Gotcha.
Okra
So
was good.
Szechuan.
okra's
It's
so
different.
Those are two very traditional Peruvian dishes.
Yeah, the lomo is a traditional Peruvian dish. The okra actually was my wife's creation. She's Chinese Peruvian.
Okay.
She loves okra, but the one thing she doesn't like, and I think you'll hear a lot of people say, is that there's usually this accompanying slime with okra.
Yeah.
And it's largely how they cook it.
Yeah.
So she came up with this method of just hitting it with high heat. And since we have a wok, she's like, hey, we can do it here.
Right.
And with a bit of Szechuan pepper and
Okay.
salt. It's a very simple treatment,
Yeah.
but the hot heat just basically gets a nice burn and gets an aroma, but it also takes care of the slime.
Okay.
It cauterizes the wound, if you will.
So that's great about this neighborhood. This is in Eagle Rock. And your restaurant is right on Eagle Rock Boulevard, and it intersects with basically YOLK
Yep.
Boulevard. There aren't many Chinese restaurants in this area, or Peruvian restaurants for that matter.
There are a few. They're kind of tucked away, but there's what's definitely is there's none that do both.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and I think, it wasn't any sort of strategic thing on our part. It's just that it just reflects what our family is.
Right.
So my wife is from Hong Kong, then Peru. Her father was from Peru, and then my parents were from China to Taiwan. And so what we featured was essentially all of our family dishes. The first round, and we have way more that we want to introduce. That was Chinese Peruvian. So a lot of people do ask us, why Chinese Peruvian? Is it did you decide to fuse it? Well, Peruvian food's already been fused by the Chinese immigrants that went there, and it's also fused because it reflects our family.
Okay.
So there was no other kind of, like I said, strategic thinking in terms of why we targeted this particular cuisine.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did a little research, and I found out Chifa is actually a very common name in Peru, right?
Yep.
There are actually like some 6,000 Chifa restaurants in the capital city of Lima.
Yeah, and another bit of the history for our restaurant is our matriarch, Popo Wendy. She's my wife's and my brother-in-law's mother. So she was raised in Zhongshan, China, but then went to Peru when she married my wife's father, and she opened a chifa.
Okay.
So a chifa is, like you said, a general term for Chinese restaurant, but in Peru, it's strictly Chinese restaurant.
Right.
It's what you would find, in the 626 here. Some say some of them would even be close to like a panda type level. And so she had one, and I'm sure she put the Chinese characters after, because each chifa has a additional name on it to differentiate itself from the other chifa.
Gotcha.
So like this one is Chifa Kaue, which is a Chinese name for my brother-in-law Umberto.
Okay.
But you would go down, there'd be Chifa Jack, Chifa Jay, and Chifa, Jose. And so that's how you would just make a distinction between each other.
I see.
But when we opened it here, we thought, well, why reinvent the wheel? Let's just make this 2.0 from a restaurant that Wendy had in Lima back in the 70s, and she had to leave.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know that you opened up right around the middle of the pandemic. It was in November of
2020.
2020.
So really kind of right after the big boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were doing takeout only at that time?
Takeout only at that time. And then when they started to, relax,
Yeah.
the rules, they were kind of strict in that if you were indoors, no one could be within 8 feet of each other.
Yeah.
And so we're not a large restaurant. If you do the math, that's like 4 people in here. So it just, economically, it didn't work out. So it just, to go seemed to make the only sense.
Right.
Until then they decided to open the patio, the
Gotcha.
outdoors. So, and that's been,
Were you scared
of,
of the business
you know what?
at that time?
I mean, no, because the only way was to move forward. We couldn't, and the timing of which, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Did it stink for the economy and everyone else that this was, they locked us down here? Yes, but at the same time, we hadn't opened yet, right? And in hindsight, if we had gone full gangbusters, had a full staff, and had everything opened, and then had to retrench.
Yeah.
That's almost more painful, laying
Right.
people off.
Right. The overhead.
Which everyone
all that
else
stuff.
had to do. And in our case, it kind of allowed us to make some mistakes early on under the guy, it allowed us to kind of walk before we had to run.
Yeah.
So that was the positive side of it. It was all unpredictable, but there was no choice. I mean, we just had to keep moving
Right.
forward. And eventually people would want to have to come back. You would hope there would be some sort of renaissance post-COVID. He's bringing his culinary skills here. We're going to open lunch.
Oh, he's gonna be working here.
Yeah, because he had opened a few years back and sort of spread his own wings and created his own sort of coffee food empire.
Nice.
And so the lease ran up, and we said, why don't we just just consolidate,
Nice.
right? Our oldest son, Jared.
Okay.
Jared.
Our oldest son, Jared.
My
Yeah.
older grandson.
Oh,
My whole family love to cook.
Yeah.
We always cook together. Before open the restaurant, we have Christmas, Thanksgiving, any birthday, we all cook together.
Yeah, and the family is so large; it's almost like a restaurant every day. So it's
Yeah,
like
like
this is
80
nothing.
people.
This is
Yeah.
nothing. Now we just charge people.
Yeah, we have like 80 people.
Oh,
all
wow.
the time.
Easy.
White
That's
elephant
minimum.
all day.
Oh my
Lunch
gosh.
to dinner.
Food,
White
yeah.
elephant, Christmas time.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, okay, enjoy.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
is there a thing where you guys have a voting for when your kids?
Mom's in charge. Do we vote? No. It's I would say democratic, but it's a very collaborative environment. I think that it's very important for us in our cultures to have a team environment. No one's more important than the other person. Obviously, there needs to be someone that makes the final decision on certain things, but there's feedback all the way around, even including the staff. That's kind of how we did. I mean, my wife and I, we met at a corporate investment management firm downtown, Capital Group, and that was their culture, was sort of diverse experience, collaboration, research, and I think we took a little bit of that into our own business. So it's definitely, yeah. And, if they're going to take over, if they want to take over, then, there needs to be some sense of continuity. I mean, that's, to me, culture is the foundation to every successful anything more than one person.
Yeah, and you mentioned McDonald's as a team.
Because you have to develop a culture that then feeds whatever, mission or goals or values that you want to kind of continue on, if you want to last.
What
Right.
kind of support has McDonald's given you?
Besides sort of just experientially?
Yeah.
The relationship between McDonald's and us is fairly recent. Umberto has done some projects with McDonald's here and globally. And so I think through that relationship and the work he's done overseas and here kind of led to one conversation, where it led to another. And I was telling Summer earlier, how did the 1 and 8 thing came to be? It was basically through having conversation with the same people.
I see.
And through that, they kind of heard that I had worked at McDonald's, and
Okay.
I'd been sort of telling this story. So in a way, the program was established, but I was doing the 1 and 8 kind of. I was a cheerleader since the beginning. It's like
Okay.
everywhere I kind of went, I always took some piece of it and shared, hey, when I was there, I learned this, and this feels like this experience. And it didn't have to be, most of it was just in business.
Right.
Right.
It's a nice way of connecting with people, I think. I mean, people might come here and says, oh, I read about your story, or I heard about your story that you worked at McDonald's. Oh, I also worked at McDonald's, and now I'm a dentist, or now
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer, or something like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's 1 and 8's 12% plus, right? That's
Yeah.
a big number. The times that I've come across people, oh, McDonald's. I was doing a piece for KTLA, doing a promotional piece for Chifa, and then the plate-by-plate event afterwards. And I brought up the 1 and 8, and the newscaster that was next to me was also 1 and 8. So he's like, oh, me too. So,
Wow.
and that was like, it almost looked like it was planned, but it was
Yeah.
great. And I said, well, look, I'm here. Look, you're doing. We're all doing great, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it is. It's a good relationship building thing.
Now, you've also done some other things besides restaurant business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting at McDonald's, afterwards, I went to college, I went to UC Irvine, and then during school, I had a couple of jobs. I went into work for a real estate developer. So working on the development side, it may sound too lofty. I was essentially moving contracts and plans for them, like delivering. And then I did property management. Then I went and stockbroker, discovered that I really didn't like selling stuff like that, and then moved into investment management. And then that was 27 years later. So during the course of that, met Rika, got married, we had 3 kids, raised 3 kids, homeschooled them. So, wow, so it was. I took the scenic route to get to the restaurant part.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you like this neighborhood?
I love this neighborhood.
Yeah.
This is sort of, I say up and coming. It's always been here, but the feel of it is an excitement. And I think when we first kind of looked at this place, there's 2 reasons why we landed here. One is when Popo Wendy and the family immigrated from Peru, they landed in Highland Park.
Okay.
So this is, in a way, they wanted a homecoming. So this is a homecoming. This is where they got their start. Rika went to junior high down the street. The other part was we wanted to somewhere that felt like, a lot of people say it feels kind of like Brooklyn, a little bit East Coasty.
Sure.
There's some character, some history to this, and that's, it leads to the electricity of it. And now it's, the artists have started to come here, a lot of the creatives, and so it's kind of growing in young families. And then a lot of the historical, families and groups are still here too. So it's a big melting pot. You can see, the different.
Yeah, if you go up to like Colorado Boulevard, there's a lot of growing businesses up there.
Yep.
If you go down to York, there's a lot of nice businesses up here, and even Eagle Rock Boulevard is sort of developing.
It's developing, yeah. When I think my wife was growing up, it was a bit of a rougher time. But people go, oh, I haven't heard of Eagle Rock. Well, it's conveniently sandwiched between Glendale and Pasadena and Hyde Park, and downtown.
Exactly.
Right. It's next to some big boys.
No, I mean, when I first moved here, which was I believe it was 2012, it was the #1 real estate market in the country. So how did you decide that you wanted to start a restaurant? Was there a signature dish that you had in mind, or was there some sort of impetus that you had in mind?
Well, as you we talked to Popo Wendy, food is a big part of our family. So every occasion, almost every week, we were cooking on a large scale already. And so in our brains, making that leap was essentially just formalizing what we were already doing. She comes from a formal restaurant background, so we had some foundation. But the real brainchild, when the light bulb actually went off, I think was just planets had aligned between myself, Rika, and Umberto. The 3 of us kind of were at a juncture in our careers. So I was in investment management still. Rika had left the investment management firm and formed her own real estate investment and financial planning office. And then Umberto, who had already been well established in the fashion world, all kind of got this itch saying, I would like to do something a little bit different. We had this itch, do something creative. So for me, I had already had enough of the corporate world. I'm a creative person by nature. I was able to sort of use some of it in that world, but I was done. So I told Rika and Umberto, they said, Umberto always wanted to do a home food thing. He always wanted to have some sort of food in his stores. Sure. So they said, okay, let's do the restaurant. And Rika started. He goes, all right, I'll look for a place. Who's going to do the food? And so they just said, well, you got to do something, my friend, right? So I said, I can't just sit there and eat.
Exactly.
No. So since I was already kind of doing the food, I had taken the mantle, taken the baton from Wendy. They said, okay, you're in charge of food. And so I think the time that all 3 of us said, let's do this. And then we said, and let's just name it Chifa. Let's just have this continuity going and just serve. Let's look at everything that we serve, that we've served for generations. We love it. It's it's tested. We've served it, catered it everywhere. Everyone loves it. So let's just do that.
I've seen a lot of good reviews online. How's the response that you've heard?
People love it. I think I'm always, reading reviews is always, you read enough to learn something, but then you always kind of have to realize, like with art, people, like some people love it and some people they need something different.
Sure.
But I think the response has been fantastic locally. It's still, again, one of the effects of COVID is that it's taken time to get word out. We were very fortunate, and I was very surprised to get the Bib Gourmand within the first 6 months. So I think Michelin helped put us kind of on the map. So I think all of those are really good signs. And like you said, hopefully we're offering something that they don't find a lot of, or something they feel like they're coming to our house for dinner. We're serving a menu that is delicious, eclectic, but rooted in tradition. I think that kind of all lends to sort of, I think, what people really enjoy here.
Right.
And we are here,
Steve,
my wife's here, Popo's here, I'm here. Where they come,
you've come a long way. I hear you have merch. You have merch here?
We have merch. From the beginning,
Yeah.
If Umberto Leon is involved, we are selling stuff. So, and he's designed some fantastic stuff. He designed the dining room, and I think really, if there's anything you see you like, it's for sale. The silverware is for sale.
That's amazing.
We have hoodies, we have clothing. He created the wallpaper, which is one single print wallpaper through his work with Calico, and so it's called Heartwood. He created it, so that's for sale.
I like the building color.
The building color, which is a combination of what we think is like traditional Asian kind of Latin colors. Like we went to Cuba and to Macau, where it's heavily Portuguese, and there was a lot of this color, and it's Chinese jade, but it also was very close to what was the business here before when we took over the building, which was a pet grooming place. So they had a similar color. So we were like, if we kept this color, I think everyone remembers it this color. It's very noticeable, stands out. But it's, I think Umberto's always been a trendsetter. So we've seen this pattern, and we've gone to Melrose, and we've seen new restaurants paint this color. So at first we thought, okay, it's a unique color, will be different.
Thank you very much for joining us on the OG YOLK Generation Next podcast. Thank you very much for sharing your food.
No, thank you.
And the experience that you've had. This is very enjoyable. I can't wait to come here with my family because we're here in Eagle Rock like seriously twice a week at least. So
well, yeah, please.
We'll definitely be here. Probably next week. We'll probably be here next week. So again, thank you very much for sharing your experience, and we'll see you next time on the podcast.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me jabber on, and welcome into our house.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Pop the yolk and spread the love. Yolk is back.